All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first Facebook Live of 2025. I hope everybody had a great holidays or whatever you celebrate. And we're going to get into 2025 now with a bunch of really cool, neat things that are upcoming here. So we're going to try to do a monthly update. So I've already got these on the calendar. These will typically be the first Friday of every month, or right around, it might be the second Friday. It's right around when the newsletter goes out. So we'll try to recap all of that stuff there. So let me go ahead and bring up the newsletter first. First thing, make sure you tag your office here. Tag all your friends and family. Let everybody know that we are live on Facebook. Hit the little likey thing and heart thing and all that stuff here. But we got a lot to talk about in this session here. Well, I'm getting a little nervous here. I haven't done this in a moment. Okay, cool. Hopefully you like the new graphics and everything that we've got, and we're going to try to make it a little cooler. All right, so let's do this first. Let me get into the newsletter. And where are you? There we go. All right, let me go ahead and open that up right there. All right, cool. So let me actually go through the newsletter first, and then I'll kind of give you some background information there as well. So when we're in here, let's go ahead and switch over to this. There we go. Okay, so you should have gotten in your email a copy of the newsletter. So I'm going to make this nice and big for everybody so everybody can see it right there. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to scroll through. Look at this. You're going to get one of these every month. Hopefully you're reading through these when you get them in your email inbox. If you're not, check your spam, get all that stuff in there. So let's go ahead and get it out down here a little bit. The first thing we're going to talk about is the enhanced dashboard. Now, I'm going to take you to Stellar Central in a moment. We are getting a new version of this. You've probably seen when you log or go into stellarmls.com, there's actually a bunch of training and all kinds of stuff coming up with that. So we're going to talk about that right there. So if you go into the newsletter, you'll see a link right here, discover what's new. But basically the Stellar Central interface is going to get refreshed. And I think it's actually really cool. I'm going to show you like a screenshot what it's going to look like in a moment. This is going to be really neat. It's going to be way more interactive. You're going to see your listings right when you log in. There will be some tools coming up with that. It'll be a little bit more customizable, a little more drag and drop. Looks a lot neater. So we're pretty excited about that. So that's coming. We'll come back to that in a moment. The login experience is improving. Now, so right now you log in and your session is good on that device for like 12 hours. There will be some changes with that. Now, one of the big things that's going to change here, and this is going to go live on the 28th of this month, is there will be some enhanced security that's going to go along with that as well. So this technology has actually been around for a while, but you've probably heard of multi-factor authentication. We actually use this internally at Stellar. Whenever we go into our Outlook or our SharePoint or our tools, we actually have to ping a little service called Duo, where it sends a little signal to our phone, and we have to confirm that we're the person, and then it lets us into whatever we need to do. It's probably going to be if you have logged into your bank or if you logged into some of your secure stuff, you probably have to ping yourself. This is kind of like a common technology these days where you got to send yourself a little code or something like that. Let me know in the comments, have you done that yet? Have you ever worked with multi-factor authentication when you log into your bank or your app or something like that? Do you have to ping yourself? Let me know in the comments have you done that before. Cool, because that's actually coming to Stellar as of the end of the month here. We'll talk about that process in a moment. There's going to be all kinds of training for this. We'll do a sneak peek. We'll do demonstrations. We'll do all kinds of stuff. I'm going to show you where you can register for one of those sessions here in a moment. Okay, so that's coming. You can learn more here. We got some upcoming training here. You can see the schedule for in-person training at your local association. Go on in there, see what's coming up next week. I will pull up a list of the webinars that are actually upcoming soon. So we'll talk about that. All right, and then one of the featured courses we have is Hurdler. A really good time to start using the app now that it is the beginning of the year. Some of you might still be tracking your mileage manually, or you might be taking all of your receipts and throw them in a shoebox or something like that. You don't have to do that. You can actually access Hurdler. This is included in your subscription to Stellar. Hurdler is actually an app you can tie to your GPS. You can even have it tied to your bank account. And when you're using Hurdler, when you go and you take a trip, you could say this trip was personal or it was business. Or when you have an expense, this was a personal expense, this was a business expense. So you can actually sort them all right in the app. And then at the end of the year, when it's like tax time and stuff, you can extract all that stuff out of there. Pretty cool. Hurdler. We're going to have, I believe, Hurdler come in on a Facebook Live, I think in February. But Hurdler is something that it's included in your subscription. Definitely take advantage of that. It is the brand new year. Definitely a really good time to start using that right there. Scrolling on down here, obviously MLS mom, Stellar MLS CEO Mary Jo shares her vision here. So if you want to go and read more about that, love you, Mary Jo. Awesome, awesome, awesome. When you're 5 years old and your mom asks you what you want to be, nobody says they want to be a CEO for an MLS, but Mary Jo was born for this. She's amazing. All right, and then we got Shane down here. Focus on what matters most here. Love you, Shane. If you want to have more information about our COO, you can check that in the newsletter right there. We're always focused on what matters most. We pay attention to all the different things we have going on at any given time. Given how quickly the industry moves, there's no time to let the noise get in our way. So looks like Shane's got some stuff here with Riz Media that's also included in your subscription. And if you want to, you can go ahead and you can give us a review here on Google through the newsletter. So once again, check your email, whatever your default agent email is, get in there, and you could do that. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get into the StellarMLS.com website. So I've got that one right there. So you'll see here right before you log in, there will be like a little rotating image at the very, very top up here. It's right here, Enhanced Stellar Central Dashboard. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this, Learn More, and it's going to take you to this right here. Now, we don't have the live system up yet. I can't show you the live demo. We will be having that very, very soon. But when you get in here, I just want to zoom in a little bit so you can see this right here. What's really cool here is you're going to see, let me see if I can make that even bigger. Yeah, we'll get really close in there. Okay, so if you can see right here, you're going to have your options here on the left. Everything has been kind of resorted to make it a little bit more efficient. You'll actually be able to set favorite icons for your favorite tools. Those will be drag and drop right there. It's really, really neat. You'll see a little header image with some of the latest and greatest with Stellar. And then down below, this is going to be the really cool part. You'll actually have a list of your listings. This is going to be plugged into the MLS database where you can go in and see your listings. You'll have some additional tools with that a little bit later. So the interface is going to be a little bit more interactive. I think this is really cool. This was always the plan since day one. So we had kind of like phase one with the first Stellar Central rollout, and then we're upgrading it as we go. And there'll probably be some other tools and some changes as we go right here. Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to go in there. So definitely look over this page here. It's going to be redesigned. Scrolling on down here, there will be a little bit of setup here, right? And I know you all don't like that when you got to go through and confirm your password and all that stuff here. But there will be a launch day checklist you got to get through. Remember, the whole point of this is to secure the data in the MLS here. So you'll go in, you'll authenticate yourself, you'll set up at least one multi-factor authentication. This could be a text message or an email, or if you use an authenticator device, you can use either of those. You can actually have up to 3 devices right there. And there will be a whole time frame. You only got to authenticate like once every 90 days. So it's not like a daily thing, but you'll see that right there. And it's going to walk you through a little checklist here of what you got to do. It's pretty easy. Yes, I know it'll take a moment to get through it, but once you get it set up, you'll just go back to doing business as normal. I just want to put the expectation out there that this is coming. And then down below on that page, so if you go to StellarMLS.com/StellarCentral, Stellar-Central here, you're going to see that as of the 21st here, we're going to start doing sneak peeks. So we'll actually show you kind of a high-level overview of how this whole process is going to work and what the new dashboard is going to look like, or the new Stellar Central. And then we'll actually have when we go live with this on the 28th, there will be sessions here in English and Spanish where we'll do more of a live hands-on demonstration with that right there. So you'll see those are coming up right there. Once again, this the whole point here is to secure all the data. We're the third largest MLS database in the country. There's 80-something thousand agents. There's billions of dollars worth of real estate data that goes through the MLS here. We got to secure this stuff. So that's why the whole point of what we're doing there. So you'll go through, you'll set all this stuff up. Obviously, whenever we do a major shift like this, there will be a new user agreement you got to sign. I know you love the EULAs, but that'll pop up. You'll sign that there. There will be a broker version of that where they're going to choose how they want to handle the copyright of their data there. Now, I would highly recommend to go in and bookmark this page because you can preview that user agreement if you want to. You can actually go in and look at it. You can see what the actual text is on here and review it ahead of time, right? So maybe if you want to look at it a little closer or something like that, you can do that. You can see the terms of use here. We're launching new software with the new dashboard, with the new Stellar Central. So there'll be an agreement there. This is kind of common practice with any sort of software. Whenever you update your Apple iOS or whenever you install Windows or whenever you do a new thing, you always got to agree to terms and conditions. So that's kind of built in right there. Scrolling on down here, you're going to see that there is an FAQ section. So we'll walk you through all that stuff here. Once again, I know it's going to be a little bit of a setup thing, and whenever it bums you out, it bums me out, but it's okay because once you get in here, your data will be more secure, the MLS will be more secure. This will actually make it easier when you log in, which would be kind of cool. So it's just an extra step right there. And I also wanted to point out the broker resource version of this. So if you go to the stellarmls.com website and you go into the resources section, there's a broker resources. Some of you might be brokers. So there will be an additional choice you got to make there with the copyright of your data. The choice has not changed, but if you want to go through and you want to see that, there's a really cool short 3-minute video that you can watch right on the broker resources page. And this will walk you through. It'll kind of like take it and like break it down into English, basically, like break it down where it's really, really easy with that. So you got that right there. You can definitely use that. Remember, brokers, you can request in-office training if you want to. So we're trying to have these pages available for you right there. Pretty neat. So major change to kick off the year. We're here for you. Remember, that's the whole Stellar MLS logo. Now we're for you. We'll help you every step along the way, but this was a necessary step going forward. Okay, cool. All right. That being said, let me check on the chats here. All right. I know some of you aren't going to like it. It's just, it is what it is. It's okay. All right. So when we go in there, let's take a look at the upcoming webinars that we have going here. So we got a bunch of upcoming webinars. Obviously, we're out at your association training, so check on the university to see what we're actually going to be in person here. But I wanted to showcase some of the upcoming webinars we have for the rest of January. That way you can plan ahead if you want to, okay? Now, keep in mind, we have all of those sessions that are available. I'll bring those back up, actually, real quick. Just make sure that you go in and you take advantage of those sessions. Oops, sorry. There we go. So when you get in here, the Stellar Central, go in, make sure you register for at least one of these sessions here. Get the sneak peek. Some of you will just want to see it. If you need some hands-on help, you're all very smart people. I'm sure you'll figure it out, but you can go in there. We've actually got some afternoon sessions, some morning sessions, some night sessions there. We'll kind of give you the opportunity to go in and do that. So make sure you do that. All right, now into the webinars. All right, so we got some upcoming webinars here. This is going to be this next week upcoming here, starting on Tuesday. You got Fast Track Your Listings. This is really cool because we actually walk you through how to put your listings in digitally. You can populate the listing form with stuff from an old MLS listing or the public records data or both. I love that when you do it electronically instead of you having to fill out your whole listing form and then take the data and sit in front of Matrix again and key it all in. If you work on the form electronically in Transaction Desk, you can hit a button and it will actually upload all the data right from your listing form into a brand new incomplete listing. And at that point, you just add your pictures, add your attachments, make your listing active. Boom, you just saved like a couple hours. That's pretty cool. Maximizing your MLS subscription. this is a really good time to refresh your knowledge of what the MLS provides for you, to make sure you know what all the tools do. Make sure you're not paying for stuff that you already get through the MLS. Maximizing your MLS subscription, we're also offering that in Spanish. Strategic mailing list, going into Realist and IMAP, going in there to our target audience. Maybe look for some expired but not relisted properties. Maybe farming a certain subdivision or something like that. We'll show you how to extract mailing labels out of those systems. We got our required comp refresh. Maybe you're due for your comp refresh class. We actually just refreshed that class. We just refreshed the comp refresh class. So you can go in and take your required class if you're due for that. We do have a class coming up here on Hurdler next week. So if you want a demonstration of that, it's in a 1-hour class of that app, so you can incorporate that into your business. Foreclosures, what you need to know, that's going to be on Thursday next week at 1 o'clock, the 90-minute class. If you wanted to learn more about the foreclosure searching in Matrix or Realist or IMAP, you can register for these classes. Remember, all of the Stellar MLS education is included in your subscription. So you can go in and you can register at stellarmls.com/learn, or just go into the university. And at that point, you'll be able to go in and register for the classes. So that's going to be next week, the week after. We have on Tuesday, we got IMAP, we got search for new construction homes, we've got enhancing your buyer's experience with one home, kind of how the buyer interacts with the properties, marking favorites and leaving notes, how that shows up to you in Matrix, how you can configure Matrix to notify you when certain things happen. Really, really cool. Learning to research rentals in Matrix on Thursday. Starting out Stellar, maybe you need to get your required starting out Stellar class done. If you're a new agent, check that out. Even if you're not a new agent, still definitely go in and check that out right there. And we also have part 1 of our Prospect CRM series. If you want to learn more about Prospect CRM and how to integrate that customer relations manager into your business, do that. You get a fully featured CRM included with your subscription to Stellar. That's part 1. We do have a part 2 to that, which I think will be on the rotation next month. That'll be the action plans and text templates, how to get that automation going in Prospect CRM. So definitely check that out. And then the last week here, we have a kind of a light week as far as webinars go, because we're doing a lot of those sessions for the upgraded Stellar Central. So on Thursday that week, we've got tools to make your buyer's journey stellar, picture perfect listings, and then part 1 of the new subscriber series, the customer tools, right there. So you got all kinds of stuff coming up right there. Awesome. All right. Good morning, everybody. Cool. All right. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to wrap this up with here. Just real quick, we're going to, next week, we're going to do another Facebook Live. We've actually got 2 more Facebook Lives this month, because I'll be doing a demonstration, a live demonstration 2 weeks from today. I'll be actually going through on Facebook Live the new Stellar Central interface and all that. I'll be showing it to you live. But next week, because this is a very commonly suggested topic. I don't know if you see what I did there, but one of the questions we get a lot is how are suggestions handled? Some of you have put in a suggestion before in the MLS. Remember, you can go to your link section. There's a link to put in suggestions with Stellar. And there is a process that we follow. So we're actually going to break that down, that whole process, from when you submit a suggestion to how it's handled internally, how they're implemented, or if we adopt them or don't adopt them. We're going to go over that next Friday at 1 o'clock. So it'll be in the afternoon next week. But I'll actually have Eben on, who is one of our executives with Stellar. So he'll be my first guest this year. But we're actually going to break down the whole process of how do you put a suggestion in? Where does it go from there? And then how we'll give you a timeline on that right there next week. Okay? Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, that is all I got for you. That's the monthly update here. So make sure you check your email, go through that right there. Always read those communications. They're very important. I know that, when we get into the 28th, it's going to be a little setup. But once you get through it, once again, it's just one of those things that as time goes by, sometimes you got to adopt additional technology for security. So keep that in mind. I think you're really going to like the new Stellar Central. I think it's going to be awesome. I really like it. I've seen it. I've played with it a little bit. It's pretty cool. I think being able to integrate all your stuff and your listings right when you log into the MLS instead of having to go and click on a bunch of stuff in Matrix, which will still work, but there will be some additional functionality with Stellar Central right there. Cool. Well, all right then. Well, thank you all for your time. That is going to be it for me today, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're watching the replay here, thank you all for that. Make sure you like Stellar MLS on all of the social medias here. We do appreciate that, and I will see you next week. We'll talk about suggestions. All right. Hope everybody has a great day. Till next time, stay stellar. Hopefully, I will see you in another class very, very soon. Bye-bye.